guys ready to begin tonight's session?
Yes!
All right. Then previously on Yakushima, the adventure continues. After Kenso's epic clash with his rival Kata, the three heroes of Yamamoto City receive messages from their various allies throughout the city. Eager to get their respective meetings, Kenso and Chiyoko huffed it on foot, while Mochi opted to travel in style via the daimyo's own personal transport. At the Yamamoto City College of Magic, the institution of arcane learning founded by the magical girl herself, Mochi briefly ran into the school's newest student, Kenso's childhood friend, Kida. Mochi then received a collection of arcane research materials, courtesy of the school's hard-working headmaster, Atsushi. She also spoke with her friend Jiro, who revealed some recently discovered lore on the mythical Kodai, a clan of spellweavers from ancient times. Meanwhile, Kenso visited his Adventurers Guild to meet with Ane, the rune magic specialist who had modified Inzen in an attempt to draw out his true power. The woman commented on Inzen's fragile structure, urging Kenso to take better care of his sword. She gave him a spell tag containing an improved mending spell, as well as a collection of texts on smelting and forging, in order to give him the skills he needs to better maintain his enchanted blade. Finally, Chiyoko met with her friend Yoroi the Riverman. The normally laid-back monk expressed his inner turmoil. Apparently, he had been comparing his past sins to the heroics of the Jiyu no Senshi, resulting in a critical imbalance within his mind and soul. This has left him unable to utilize his martial techniques. Chiyoko did her best to comfort him with her wise perspective, and even took a leap of her own... Uh-oh, we lost. Oh, never mind, we didn't. Oh, Christian, you turn your camera on. Discord jumped, and I was like, oh no, we lost someone. Chiyoko, speaking of the devil, did her best to comfort him with her wise perspective, and even took a leap of her own by holding his hand for but a moment. Yoroi resolved to continue meditating on her words and remained in Yamamoto City. The three heroes met back up at their favorite sushi shop, the Zangetsu Inn, and spoke with Hachi about leaving their sending stones with the Magic College in an attempt to create more of them, a boon that would no doubt prove essential for the ongoing war efforts of the Jiyu no Senshi forces. With their bellies full and all matters settled, the party returned to Hachi's castle, only to find a crowd gathered near its gate. The Shohei Hero Institute of Devotees, a fan club dedicated to following the party's heroics, bombarded the heroes with praise and requests for autographs. After the obnoxious flock of rabid supporters had finally been driven away, one young man remained, Kyosho Narita, the self-proclaimed #1 fan of our intrepid heroes. The boy expressed his admiration for the heroes, and asked them what it meant to be strong. The heroes each gave their respective answers. To Kenso, strength came from the desire to protect that which is precious to you. To Chiyoko, it was sticking to something you believed in, no matter the cost. To Mochi, it was the embracing of freedom of choice, and by being the star of your own story. Narita thanked the heroes, tucking their answers away in his heart before respectfully departing. Now our heroes gather in the basement of Hachi's castle and prepare to set out on their adventure once more in today's session. Mystery of the Kodai. The search for the Tengu begins.
Time to die.
Indeed, indeed. The three of you are in Hachi's castle once more. You've just agreed on your next course of action. At Chiyoko's request, to return to Yakushima's northern landmass of Hokushun and investigate rumors of the mythical Tengu in hopes of getting one step closer to understanding Chiyoko's connection to the fabled realm known as the Bright Land. Mochi, you also received an interesting lead of some Kodai lore, that is some kind of facility somewhere that is able to break down magic items with perfect efficiency to create residuum, which is an invaluable resource for casting spells and potentially even creating new magic items of your own. You've already packed up all of your supplies and said your farewells to Lady Kiyomi, Hachi's personal assistant, and Bobman, your foreign acquaintance, and perhaps most of all, young Tashi, the elven boy who fled the shogunate. You guys have a new party objective in regards to Tashi, if you'll recall, down in your party quests section. We've already played through that scene before. We kind of went back in time, like, it's gonna be like the third time you jump through this teleportation circle. Because, first of all, we had to go back in time to, I wanted to contextualize your new proficiencies. Mochi has Arcana, and Kenso with the blacksmith's tools. So that's why we went back once to kind of put those scenes in to give that. Yeah. And also there was the 7-month hiatus, so we went back for that reason too. But anyways.
We needed the romance.
Yeah, and of course, yes, we needed the romance as well. That was a scene, the Yoroi scene was one I was going to play with Kirsten privately, but I decided to slip that in there because you guys know you love to see it.
For our enjoyment.
For personal enjoyment reasons, yes. You three exit the castle manor itself through a sort of side service corridor out into a small cobblestone courtyard, a nook between two of the castle's main buildings. There's a large cellar door, guarded by a few of Hachi's thugs, the kind of, angled door that goes down into a basement. They heave open the large hatch, revealing a wide flight of stone steps that lead beneath the castle. The sides of the staircase are lined with lit torches, and as you march down, you all check your belongings, your gear, your travel packs, some of the things that you purchased recently. You guys made a few purchases since last session. We'll just say that you guys, made a couple of stops throughout your various errands last session, and you've got that now, and some of you purchased quite a bit of things. Behind you, as you guys enter, Kenso and Mochi, I'll say you guys enter first. Chiyoko, you're stopped by a servant of Hachi's who's like, "Hey, Chiyoko, where do you want the stuff? Want us to load onto your cart for you?" And he's got like a big barrel full of junk, seemingly.
Yeah, put it on the cart, that'd be great.
All right, we'll follow you down. And they like put the lid on and they're carefully rolling it down behind you. It seems like Chiyoko went on a bit of a shopping spree.
What's that?
I got some stuff I think you guys are gonna like. You take a peek.
Kenzo takes a peek. He's been invited.
Kirsten, do you want to rattle off some of the stuff that you got?
Yeah.
Is this like a comically large pile of things?
I would say so. It's not like piling over the top of the barrel or anything, but as they're moving it, you can hear stuff rattling around inside. Definitely enough stuff to make a noise.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I got stuff for everybody, stuff that I think that might come in handy, so feel free to use it. I got some ball bearings, caltrops, chalk, a crowbar, grappling hook, rope, manacles. We got a chest with a lock, an oil flask, a net, a 10-foot pole.
That's sticking out the top of the chest.
Yeah.
They're trying to get it down.
Let me see, where else?
Try taking the pole out of the barrel. Oh, yeah, okay. Good idea, boss.
I think that's it.
That's about it.
Oh, wait, no.
You got a hunting trap, I think.
Yeah, I got, block and tackle. What is that? I forget.
It's like pulleys.
Oh, yeah, I got a pulley system. Guys, I got a pulley system. I got chain, Fishing stuff, hunting stuff. I think that's it.
Chioko's prepared for an actual D&D adventure. We've just been winging it as we go.
For sure. It just occurred to me that I should make either a handout or a character sheet for Basashi's cart so you all can see the common equipment. I'm gonna do that before next session. That's a good idea. Pretend I had that idea earlier. Yeah?
We don't... This is... Oh, snap. All right. Castle wall. Grappling hook. With the pulley attached. We just launch that up, hook it on, and we just... That's pretty epic. I could dig it. All right.
We're doing it.
Okay. All right.
Hachi's thugs are like...
Be good.
Hachi's thugs are like... Yo, they're storming a castle? When? Does Lord Daimyo know about this?
Shh.
Oh, right, yes. Awesome. So you guys get all your stuff set as you're going down. This passageway leads down to a very large, as far as basements are concerned, underground chamber. It was likely used either as a storage cellar or a bunker, but has recently been cleared out and converted for a much more interesting use. The chamber is roughly 30 by 30 feet, with about a 10-foot ceiling or so, well lit. You see that Kenso's trusty steed Basashi is down here. All y'all's trusty steed, a sturdy stallion with a black coat and mane, some white markings on his face and lower legs. How Basashi was led down here, with your entire cart full of supplies still latched to him, is a bit of a mystery, but you don't feel like asking questions. You've seen this horse pull off some pretty impressive feats before, so you're like, you know what? Fair.
In the future, it could be pulleys.
It could have been pulleys if you had them. Next time, maybe. You'll just pulley Basashi down like Attack on Titan. They just lift the horses in the in the ropes, you know. He probably just muscled the cart down here with his big old warhorse girth. Other characters of note that are present are Lord Hachi himself, of course, who gives you a wave, as well as Samui Ane from the Adventurers Guild. She gives you a nod. Kana Jiro from the Magic College, of course, and Jiro's partner, the broad-shouldered sergeant of the city guard Toma, who proved his worth as well in the Kodai ruins a little while back, as well as an assortment of castle assistants and guards all ready to see you off. Lastly, of course, and perhaps most pertinent, carved into the stone floor of this basement is a 15-foot diameter magic circle composed of a series of complex glyphs and sigils. This, as you know, is the teleportation circle formulated by Jiro with Ane's assistance that is linked to the existing magical teleportation circuit all across this country. Again, we've played through this scene before, so we'll speed through it. But Ane explains that Jiro, with their magical experience, has managed to encrypt this teleportation circle. So while the 3 circles around Yakushima simply require a command word to use, this one has an added component. Jiro takes your hand, Mochi, and they paint on the back of your hand with a glossy black ink that reflects a prism of colors. This symbol, what it exactly says or means is up to you, but it's, Yu-Gi-Oh! Power of Friendship, back of hand tattoo thing. Jiro then goes to you, Chiyoko, and then you, Kenso, and applies the ink to your hands as well. Ane then approaches the 3 of you and asks you to put your hands together. You guys do like a, yeah, exactly, yeah. Ane does a few somatic gestures and then says, take a deep breath. This'll hurt. A lot. What's up? And bright light engulfs your hands. and you feel this searing pain as the marks are permanently grafted to the backs of your hands. A few moments later, ouchie ouch. A few moments later, the pain subsides, and you guys have these permanent tattoos on the backs of your hands. This marking, explains Ane, acts like a password of sorts. With it, the three of you alone can access the Yamamoto City teleportation circle. Nifty, huh? Now, even if our enemies learn how to use the other circles, they won't be able to touch this one. Jiro and I will apply the markings to other important individuals at Daimyo Hachi's discretion. Hachi, give you guys a little wink. Jiro chimes in, adding that even if enemies happen to tap into this circle by chance, it will be closely guarded around the clock by Hachi's retainers who are ready to destroy the circle if it is compromised. So, if you guys try to warp back into the castle and it doesn't work, you are to assume that something very bad has happened. Wherever you are. The guards all give you a salute, including Toma, who is personally overseeing this operation. This corporate security, so to speak. With that out of the way, there's not much left to do except to do. However, Hachi walks up to you guys with one final order of business, one last conversation he wants to have with you guys before y'all head out. He says, all right, guys, this is it. I've got your sending stones. He holds your 2 magic walkie-talkies. Which means that once you step through this circle, you'll be unable to communicate until you return home. Now, I've got one last thing that I want to talk to you about before you guys get going, alright? Now, listen up, this stuff's important. It's about, the war and politics and such. Now, he says, pop quiz question. The Ryojikan Shogunate, the Minamoto Rebellion, and the New Empire. Who can tell me which of these 3 you guys should be the most cautious with? Anyone?
The New Empire.
Caution.
Yeah. I know what you're thinking, but hear me out first. The New Empire, no. Those guys, we don't know what the hell they're doing. They haven't. I believe you've walked right through their territory before. Old Captain Yamamoto, God rest his soul. You met him in a New Empire territory, and he actually went with you guys because of budget cuts to the guard ship. They don't put much of a fuss when you stomp through their land, so not them, no siree. Kenso? Mr. Commander of the Juno Senshi Army?
Listen, Hachi. I don't gotta be cautious with anybody. We're here to do a job. We're gonna get the job done. And if somebody gets mad, oh well.
I like your attitude. However, these are complicated times. I've been talking with our friend Bobman. I know. I'm keeping him safe from you. But he knows a lot about politics. Sorry, force a habit. Public relations, all this, that, and the other. We're trying to win a war here. And to win a war, you need people. And to get on the people's side, you need to show your right to rule. They don't want to follow a faction like ours. You're causing a big muck everywhere you go. We're just gonna be the army of troublemakers. So, to that end, there's one of these factions that you need to be extra careful with, and that is the Minamoto Rebellion. Not the Ryojikan Shogunate. Now, they don't like you either, don't get me wrong, but...
Yeah.
Trust me. The feelings are mutual all around, but they are bound by the terms of engagement that you established when you met with Shogun Tenzu himself. No military actions can be taken by either side until the agreed upon day when we clash against them with everything we've got. That's about 44 days away from now, if I'm not mistaken. And now they're honor bound. The Ryojukan Shogunate, they got a bunch of sticks up their ass. They're not going to go back on their word. They're more concerned with right to rule than what I'm telling you. Now, matter of fact, even Shogunate probably still hates the Minamoto more than it hates you, because not sure if you've cracked open your history books lately, but the Shogunate once controlled just about all of Yakushima before the rebellion started mucking things up. That was a few decades ago, 30, 40 years ago, the beginning of what we now call the Warring States period, or what historians will once call it, probably in the history books. Now we just call it life.
Bad.
Yeah, bad. Bad things. Exactly. So as long as you claim to be on diplomatic business, the Shogunate shouldn't give you any trouble. Just don't do anything reckless that may be construed as military action. Old Four Eyes from the Adventurers Guild even managed to work it out with Mistress Kyoku, the one of the 4 elite guardian generals that you met with, to allow limited Adventurers Guild activities within Shogunate borders. So if you're polite, they'll let you do whatever you need to do. The Minamoto, on the other hand, hate you. They actually hate you. Need I remind
Fuckers.
you? What was that?
Fuckers.
Yeah, that's what I'll say. Need I remind you, he says, that they plan to take this city for themselves back when it was ruled by the Shogunate? Before you just swiped it out from under their... Ooh, they don't like you for that. Do you want to know why they wanted this city so badly? Pop quiz number 2. Any guesses?
Access to the water?
Yeah, Port Town.
Access to the water, port town. Look at the big brains on Kenso and Chiyoko. Look over there at Minamoto home turf. Their capital city, Toyo, right there in the water. Now, just up to the north, the Hyaku, the land bridge that connects Nishima with Higashi here. You see how it's red? You see how the Shogunate have held that? Yeah, they've held that for years. And they're not letting the Minamoto through. If the rebellion just managed to take this town here, they would have had free water, transport back and forth. They could move their troops over. They could pincer strike on Honu. They could do whatever they wanted. But they can't, because of you guys. That move might have meant the beginning of the end of this war in the rebellion's favor. And you took that away from them. Not to mention the Minamoto leader in Higashi here, Yujo, he lost his younger brother. His younger brother, Kaito, who, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember correctly, he was the one that recruited you guys to the rebellion early on, way back at the beginning of your entire adventure. So, as far as the upper brass is concerned, you guys are public enemy number 1 for a multitude of reasons. I would not be surprised if they had bounties on your heads. Each and every one of yous.
Yeah.
Anyway. So, you guys with me so far? Any questions, comments, concerns? Cool.
So what are we being cautious about?
Well, like I said, these guys hate you. A lot. Now, yeah. So the Shogunate, they install embassies and they strong-arm local governments. You know, so if you walk into a Shogunate territory, they'll probably know it's you and they won't care. The Minamoto, though, they keep a comfortable distance from local governments. So if you just walk into a Minamoto town and lay low, they probably won't pester you. But if you start causing a muck, and if, God forbid, a Minamoto government is like has a big boner for the rebellion, they're probably gonna jump you. Like hard. And I know you want that so bad, Kenso. But again, that would further polarize the innocent people very potentially toward the Minamoto. I mean, like it or not, these guys they're pretty good at the propaganda game. That's why they've been managing to amass so much land. The Minamoto, their word resonates with the common folk, you know, oppressive Ryojukan Shogunate, blah. They'll paint your face on every city block, and pretty soon the people will start to hate you. So you'll get some action, Kenso, but choose your battles wisely is all I'm trying to say. But, you know, aside from that,
We can still send communications, so it'll take like a week.
if you yeah.
Yeah.
Help.
That's it. It doesn't say anything else.
Help!
Oh, we get back, the city's razed. It's just ashes everywhere.
Oh, no.
Did you get the message?
No, but that was a good point that we were about to that you brought up, Tommy. Think of this from Hachi's perspective. He's about to send you guys off into the world. You know? To the other side of it, no less. So he wants to make sure we get all of our ducks in a row.
This poor man.
So Hachi, oh sorry.
No, you're good. Go first.
So Hachi, what you're saying is that what we should be careful of is Kenso.
In less words, yes. He says, I will say, bear in mind now, I will say that this mostly applies to the big cities. If you guys are in little villages, you know, I'm less worried about it. That is not permission. that is just a point of interest. But anyway, you know, I can't help but be a bit of a worrywart. You know me, but just do your best, he says. All right.
Can I say something to Hachi before we wrap this up?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, Kenzo and Shoko might be geography experts, but I'm the public relations expert. And I say, why don't we stir up something for good to get them on our side?
That is a
Why
very
don't we
good...
bring the fan club to
Oh!
Miyamoto territories and bring them in and convince them that we're the best?
He was with you 100% until you mentioned the fan club.
I love that idea, but they're gonna chill the fan club. Do you remember them? Do you remember the Minamoto? They'll chill the fan club.
If there's one thing they hate more than you guys, it's people who love you guys. Also, those fans are very hateable in general. I can't advise this, but he says, I like where your head is at. You know, If you can think of a way to very under the radar, like set up
We've never done anything under the radar.
fan club chapters. Yeah, no, it ain't gonna. Okay, well, you know, use your best judgment. That's all I'm gonna say. Your best judgment, okay? Well, no, what you were saying though about raising a ruckus of the good, you know, I do like that. If you can find a way to rabble rouse, but make sure it looks good, you know, full permission.
Okay. The Minamoto are gonna love us. They're gonna have their own fan club.
Dog Convention Part 2.
Yeah, the dog convention. Oh my gosh, that was one of the most insane off the rails moments. The dog convention. Okay, all right. Anyways, he says, I trust you guys, and we're all counting on you. So, get out there and kick some ass, all right, y'all?
We got it.
All right, amen.
All right, safe travels. And as you guys turn around and head toward Basashi, somehow 3 in 1, he gets you with the triple back slap.
Kenzo will remember this.
Kenzo will remember this. You guys load up your stuff on Basashi. All of your NPC friends from Yamamoto City give you a hearty farewell. Who remembers the command word?
Go.
Go! Ike!
Ike! and you guys disappear in a flash of white light. And you're off. As the bright light subsides, you find yourself in the cold, gray mountains of Higashi. Way up here. Where that little spot that says teleportation circle is. That's where you guys end up. It is, it's actually snowy here. You're not like you're not like wading through piles of snow, but by this time of year, there's a little bit of a light snow drift in these cold mountains. You recall that you're not too far from Chiyoko's home in Hitomi Village, over on Mount Miyoboshi over there. And you're also not far from Ryojikon borders. However, they're not super interested on advancing their borders through unclaimed mountains. So, not too much to worry about there. Oh, you know what? Silly me. I forgot one last thing. We're not going to play it out in length, don't worry. But Ane and Jiro ask you guys if you would like them to modify the other teleportation circles to require the same password.
Yes.
Ane says, wow. Ane says, a bit unethical from a certain point of view to just be usurping ancient magic to serve our own interests. But it would mean that if any of the teleportation circles get found, they're for us to use only. No one else can use them. So do you want them to do that?
Yes.
Yes? Kenso? Mochi?
I think, okay. Backtracking a little bit.
Mhm.
Our markings, those are like, is it like henna? Is it wash off? Is it like a permanent tattoo?
It's permanent.
Okay.
Seared into our skin.
And they can undo that requirement, correct, in the future?
In theory,
Like,
yes.
unencrypt the circles.
Yeah. In theory. Maybe.
I don't know. Is there any
Probably.
downside for us if we do that? Not really, right? Only an upside that no one else can.
I mean, so if we needed it to open up, after like post-war, this is not Kenso speaking.
Yeah.
Post-war, people could just have a sheet of paper, a pass, a necklace, something that they can put the symbol on to get through.
Very
so
true.
everyone can still use it.
That's true.
So, semi-permanent change, but you could feasibly open up access.
Okay, then I agree. Let's just do it.
All right. In that case, Ane and Jiro come with you. And you guys arrive in the mountainous areas here, and you look and you see them, and you're like, oh. You're like, hey. And they're going to start getting to work modifying this one. So,
Question.
yeah.
Can I make a retroactive purchase?
Sure. What would you like to purchase?
Because I forgot that we're doing this tattoos. Can I buy each of us a fingerless glove for the hand that has the tattoo, so we can cover it so no one can see it and copy it?
You're pretty certain that no one will be able to copy it because it is a marking that needs to be drawn a very specific way, and there was a casting upon it to sort of activate it. So you would need to copy it perfectly and also know the right spell. So that's a very low chance of that happening. But if you want to, you still may.
I would like that.
All right, you can. It'll be like a silver piece.
Okay.
Cool. Right on. But this is not your destination, of course. So you guys give the command word one more time. Ike! And you're going to warp one more time. Use the circle again, jumping to the next point in the network, which is way up here in Hokushun, where you are greeted by a lovely green forest. Up here it's a little warmer, a little more humid, but still with a nice cool breeze for this time of year. This results in a more densely forested topography compared to the rolling grassland plains of Higashi that you guys are used to. So here you are in the middle of a forest clearing, standing atop the Hokushin teleportation circle, built by the ancient Kodai clan long ago. Green moss kind of growing up onto this cool gray stone platform that makes up the foundation of this ruinous magic circle. After helping Basashi pull his cart off of the stone platform, you guys are free to travel in any direction that you please. Before you guys make that call, however, I'll just give you a few reminders about the area. You do remember that not far from here, you guys met the mighty earth dragon, Tsuchi, and passed his trial of patience, earning his dragon orb, a glass crystal ball that glows a dull green and instills a feeling of calmness and stillness in whoever holds it in their hands. I believe Mochi's the one currently holding that. In your pack, that is to say. So it's not affecting you unless you like hold on it. After that, you guys recall you had a bit of a falling out, went your separate ways for a little while, but now with rekindled friendship, you boldly face the next chapter of your adventure. And as you guys look at your map and take a moment using your basic survival skills to determine which way you're actually facing. Matter of fact, I'll say that the circle itself probably has like some kind of a compass somewhere. The people who built this thing are also interested in which way is north. So you guys get your bearings real quick. And Chioko has an idea as to where you should head first.
Gotta go to the guru's house.
Are you going to say anything more than that to your companions?
Not unless they ask questions.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm glad to be back on the road.
Heck yeah!
Kenzo does some cartwheels.
Hell yeah. Kenzo, you limber up, stretch, hop onto Basashi. Basashi, like, yeah, yeah, hell yeah, yeah. Basashi mimics you, kind of stretches and then and starts pulling y'all's cart. And yeah, it's very refreshing to be back on the road. In more ways than one.
Being around all those people can be stifling.
Sure can.
Yeah. There's just something about the open road, you know? All the buildings and stuff. It's cool. It's fun, but look at this place. You can't beat it.
And Basashi, I miss Basashi. I run alongside him and give him a hug on the neck as he's running.
Hell yeah. So, guys are on the road.
Did Basashi have to get a tattoo / cutie mark to transport with us?
Oh,
Cutie mark. Basashi has a cutie mark.
It's
Put on like
translated.
his right hunch.
Yep.
Just like,
Precisely. And it's white to match the white patches of fur that he's got. I asked Tommy when I was writing the description for Basashi in this session. I'm like, hey man, what color is Basashi? I don't think I ever asked. And we both were like, we both agree that we've always imagined it being like chestnut brown. But then Tommy's like, dude, no man, Mulan's horse, that like black horse. Just like
Yeah.
that.
Aw.
So, and whenever you picture your party steed Basashi, picture, yeah, like that kind
Mulan's
of
horse.
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
horse is aggressive too, so.
I mean, Basashi's he's been absorbing
he's
a
killed
lot of
people.
Yeah, he's killed motherfuckers before.
Yeah.
Basashi has drawn blood. He is statistically a warhorse.
Yeah.
Sweet. So, cue travel montage. You guys are heading southeast toward a location that Chioko only referred to as Guru's house. The camera cuts to different angles, a la anime travel montage scene, a la Samurai Champloo, as these thick forest trees pass on either side of your cart. The region that you're in is pretty untamed, so Basashi's having to carve out a rough trail between some of the thick trees, but old boy can manage. Maybe a few fire bolts to clear the way, you know, if need be. Responsibly, of course. As Basashi pulls you through the woodland trails, help me paint a picture of this travel montage. If you're directing the Yakushima anime, what does the viewer see? We can start with Kenso if you want. I take it you're sitting on the front bench of the cart. Your cart, by the way, is similar stature to like a Skyrim transport cart, you know, big enough to hold several people, but nothing too fancy. You got a couple barrels and crates full of some of your stuff, but not much else going in terms of you know, fancy smancy covered wagon. In fact, you guys modified this cart for battle fairly recently against bandits, so just some like random wooden posts kind of left over. But Kenso, what do you got for us? What kind of expression do we see on this man's face?
He's you can see that it feels like it looks like a weight's been lifted off of him. He's very relaxed and excited at the same time. He's not stressed. He's usually when we're in Yamamoto, he's like very tense, a little bit anxious sometimes, just because of all the people, all the, you know, the popularity, the fame. It's not really him. So now that we're on the open road, he's like taking in all the sights. He's like got his battle meditation going. He's like, all right, the next guy that comes at me with a weapon, how am I going to be? And every now and then while we're riding, he's just like, yeah.
Chiyoko and Mochi, as you guys are doing your own things on the road, every so often you hear a grunt from Kenso, and you see him do like a also, I'll say this as well. You see that from behind, and you're in Chiyoko and Mochi, you're kind of like, yeah, that's the Kenso we know. But because you can also hear his cursed sword Inzen's voice in your heads, you can even hear Inzen kind of like, oh yeah, get the 𝑪𝒐𝒏𝒕𝒖𝒓𝒆 form, huh? Inzen's blast. Come on, Kenso, Inzen, blast! Spinning slash!
Thunder strike!
Thunder strike! Oh! So. Love it.
That's gonna get annoying.
You're like, Kenso!
As always.
Kenso.
And then 30 minutes later, you're like,
Kenso.
Hell yeah. Camera pans back. Chiyoko. Are you up to anything or interacting with your party members in any way, or are you just kind of vibing out? What are you up to?
I think I'm probably just maybe taking a little meditation time in the quiet, trying to practice whether or not I can tune out the Inzen voice.
Interesting you say that, actually. I will say that, I'll say with enough concentration, yeah, you're able to kind of turn that off. You are able to not hear Inzen if you so desire. Kenso, on the other hand, you're out of luck there. Awesome. With your new enhanced mystic sight, Chiyoko, it's a pretty short range, but it is long enough that you can see the trees and foliage passing by on either side of your cart. So you are able to enjoy the vibrant greens of the forest, which is something that you've not ever been able to do until recently. Still a very low quality image. It's not like seeing with eyeballs like we know, but you can just make out the colors of the forest a little bit. It's quite magical.
And it is like just an area around from me. Like I don't need straight line of sight, right?
No, it is a bubble that even allows you to see past cover.
Nice.
In this limited range. So yeah, you just exist in this bubble of lo-fi visual stimulus.
Nice. Yeah, so I probably take so I alternate between some meditation and some admiration of my surroundings.
Right on. Last but certainly not least, Mochi. What did the viewers see as the camera pans back from Chiyoko's meditation and enjoyment of the surroundings to our local magical girl?
I'm just like laying back. I've got a little twig in my mouth, chewing on that while reading some of the texts that were transcribed to me from the magical school.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to focus on studying those texts while I hear Instant Blast!
Right on. Awesome. You know, I'm glad you brought that up because this is our first opportunity to engage in some downtime activities if we so desire. If you look over into your handouts folder on Roll20, each of you have a downtime activities document that I put together. This is not an exhaustive list, of course. You can do whatever you can imagine, but these are some things that I wrote down from some of our chats that we've had over the past few months. Some of them can only be done in a full camp scenario. We have, lots of space, but there's some things you can also do on the road if you want, such as read your magical research, Mochi. So if you want to pull from there for this little montage, you may. Otherwise, just keep on going as is.
How much time, how long of a trip is this?
You ask that to Chiyoko, to which she responds that it is probably not more than 4 hours or so. Which is a pretty short trip in terms of overland travel. Yeah.
Human speed or Chiyoko speed?
Basashi speed.
Okay.
Basashi travel speed, not Basashi full gallop speed.
Gotcha.
Which is similar to Chiyoko speed, probably.
Yeah. Matter of fact, when you guys split up, when you had your falling out and you went separate ways, and then you met back up at Mochi's Beacon, I had to do a little bit of brain bending, logistics to see who would arrive when. And for Chiyoko, I was like, "Fuck it, she's on foot." It doesn't matter where she is.
Yeah.
The longer this campaign goes on, the less and less I care about travel speed and such. But yeah, Mochi, to give you the full answer, plenty of time to get a chapter or two into your studies.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I will say though, one thing does happen, sort of. Mochi, let me ask you: are you wearing your special hat?
Yes. I'm always wearing my hat.
Of course. It's not pictured in the character art, which I'm kicking myself for, but Mochi's got her signature magic hat, which, as I understand it, is somewhere between wide-brimmed wizard witch hat and Mickey Mouse Sorcerer's Apprentice hat. Right? Nice bright blue sparkly hat. And, you've got that on with your little twig sticking out, reading your book. And you feel... Your hat is moving.
Bum, 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 bum,
I-
bum, bum.
Funny you say that?
I investigate my hat.
You pull your hat off, and you... Chiyoko and probably notices you. Kenso, I don't know if you do.
Nah. Not at all.
Not at all. Ooh, ooh. Spinning slash. Mochi, you investigate your hat and you look down into the dark depths, into the recesses of your hat, and you feel something gooey. And of course, who could forget Mochi's pet silkworm, Goopter?
Oh, he's alive!
It's Goopter!
It's like I have nightmares where I have pets that I abandon and I forget about them and I find them. It's like that.
You picked up this silkworm about a month ago in-game, like fucking 2 years ago in real life. While you were exploring the cursed swamps of Mamoru Village with Jiro and Toma. When you first procured him, he was a wee little silkworm. But after braving the Kodai ruins, tainted with magic from the Brightlands, and after some magical experimentation with the transmutation circle therein, he's now big and blue. He was once like a, little half-inch silkworm. Now he's like a big 5 or 6 inch fat boy, big old grubby wormy guy. You pull him out and he kind of wraps around your finger a little bit, and he kind of his osmeterium quivers excitedly. That's the little that little gooey antenna thing that caterpillars have. It's called an osmeterium. For the viewers at home, picture Caterpie but blue. I'm gonna blur this because this is like someone's art I found. Yeah, just a big blue Caterpie guy, like that big, and he kind of jiggles at you.
Aww. Give him a little kiss. He's like slimy.
Yeah.
I wipe the slime off my lips. Aww.
His eyes blink happily, like.
I cover up Pio-Pio's cage with something and give him a snatch.
Your messenger bird Pio-Pio, which is like a golden canary, right?
Yeah, I think so.
You have a little bird cage hanging off the side of Basashi's cart. You kind of like make sure Pio-Pio is well fed from this this delectable morsel on Mochi's fingers. Gupter's like rocking back and forth excitedly. You think that maybe he's hungry.
I was about to say.
You haven't fed him in months.
Yeah.
I feed him the twig that I've been chewing on. There's like a leaf at the end of it.
Oh, that's so cute!
Nice.
You do like a Lady in the Tramp, and he starts nibbling the Oh gosh, that's adorable. That's the cutest shit I've ever heard. All right, awesome. He happily eats, and then kind of curls up a little on your finger, and looks like he's tuckered out, so he's ready to be put back in his enclosure whenever you're done with him. Oh boy. Yeah, he what's that?
Yeah, Mochi, we should probably tell each other when we're taking Duper out or taking Pio-Pio out, so we don't have casualty.
Ooh. Yeah, that might be a good idea. I didn't really think about that, but I also forgot he was in my hat.
Well, now you know.
When you check back in your hat, he's got like a little like silk cocoon like layer that he kind of crawls up into. He hangs like silkworms hang. He hangs in your hat.
Oh.
Love it.
Night night, buddy.
All right. So you guys are on again. Few hours pass on the open road, and eventually you arrive at what appears to be your destination. Chiyoko, you recognize this region is fairly hilly. You've had to kind of maneuver your way around some hills. One hill is steeper than the rest. Not super steep, like a 25 or 30 degree incline, but steep enough that Basashi's going to have a little bit of trouble getting up. Not too much trouble, though. Boy, thick. It's about 4 p.m. in the afternoon as you reach the bottom of this hill. You see the dirt trail kind of pick up and become more well-defined, and it turns into a trail that goes up the side of this hill with just wooden block steps every so often to kind of mark this makeshift loose staircase up to the peak of the hill, upon which you see a small, quaint wooden house. Nice little Japanese style house. Chiyoko, you recognize it. What do you guys do?
We found it. Let's do.
Do we need to bring the wagon with us? Should we leave Basashi somewhere?
I think Basashi would want to meet them too.
All right, onward!
He drags you up. It's kind of has to muscle it a little bit. He's carrying a whole ass cart, 3 people, and a variety of other smaller creatures.
And a barrel of supplies.
And a big barrel of supplies. Speaking of small creatures, Kenzo, have you been taking care of your beetle? Also from that same trip?
Rodriguez! Oh no!
What do beetles eat?
Oh, probably other beetles. I'm probably feeding him other beetles.
Probably.
I like to imagine as well, it's up to you how you want to handle it, but I like to imagine that Kenzo's not even taking care of the beetle. It's just around him. Kind of like Momo and Samurai Champloo, where we never see it cared for. It's just around all the time. It just hunts in a vicinity around Kenzo.
I'm like, oh yeah, Rodriguez. He just like comes flying back and lands on me. Like,
yeah. Or you see Goopter and you're like, oh, didn't I have a bug like that? Shit, where'd Rodriguez go? And then just in the background, he's around. Do you keep him anywhere, or you just let him be on the cart somewhere?
He probably he hangs out with Basashi like Lucky Cricket does.
Oh, come on now! Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. So Basashi starts muscling up the side of the hill, and your little beetle Rodriguez is like,
Yes.
Oh, I love it. I need to watch that movie again. Good ass movie.
Right.
All right. As you climb up the hill toward this house, you start to hear a few noises. You hear a river flowing somewhat nearby. Perhaps there's a spring, like somewhere up near the side of the hill, trickling out. You hear the sound of wood moving, almost like a windmill or a water mill. You know, kind of cranking sounds. But most pertinently, you start to hear raised voices coming from the house above.
Oh.
You can't make out what's being said. They're not screaming. It's not there are words being said in raised voices. The voices sound like they belong to, as you get closer, an elderly man and a young girl, from the sounds of it. As you get closer to the house, you see it has a front door, but also has a patio walkway that appears to kind of turn around the side of the house. You know how those Japanese-style houses have like the porch that kind of goes around in the back and goes through it and stuff. Looks like that. So, knocking seems pointless, since you can hear the voices coming from an outdoor area deeper within the estate, perhaps in a courtyard or a garden. You guys just round the corners and check it out?
I'm going to leave Basashi here, and we'll go on foot.
Right on. That would make sense. Basashi can't like go up onto the porch with you. But there's a nice little front yard area that is good for him, yes?
Is this hill steep enough that I can just like let him run around and he won't be like encouraged to like go trotting down the hill?
At the very least, he'll have room to graze and stretch his legs. There's not enough open space on top of the hill to like gallop. But you get the idea that he would probably appreciate a stroll at the very least.
Okay. Yeah,
cool. So Kenzo, you lock the cart, engage parking brakes, unhitch Basashi, who he can do a little trot, and he goes to find wherever the source of that water is for a nice fresh drink, and maybe he'll lounge around. Cool. You guys gonna go investigate the house?
I if you guys are okay with it, I kind of want to sneak up and try to hear what they're arguing about before we come say hi.
You go ahead then. I'll wait till you guys are done.
Okay. What do you wanna stay, or do you wanna come with me to hear the drama?
Oh, I would love to go hear the drama.
All right.
All right.
Kenso's just.
Yeah. I'd like both of you to roll stealth checks then. Oh shit.
We're in sync.
Oh!
Wow, look at that!
Equally nosy.
Right on. You guys are sneaking with the exact same pose. With a 17, let's see. You guys are with a 17. You guys are pretty. You guys can tell you're pretty stealthy, you know, compared to the common folk. And as you sneak on the floorboards that very, very quietly creak beneath your footfalls, you begin to hear more of what's going on.